Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle Matthews. You may know me from Fargo. I had a lot of stories that came to mind when I saw the topic for tonight. There was the dishwasher bleach incident. There was the icy pond on a field falling through incident. A lot of bad mistakes with alcohol. I ultimately decided to tell you about my one time in Absaraka. Subtitle, A Failed Chance at Being Popular. I grew up in Enderlin, North Dakota. Anyone familiar with this little tiny blip on the map? Yeah, I was very unpopular in high school. Like, I knew everybody because we had 30 kids in my graduating class. So you knew everyone, but my phone didn't ring to get invited to go places and things like that, which I don't understand. I did all the right things. I was in speech and debate. I was on the yearbook staff. I was in jazz band. I don't know why I wasn't popular. So I'm doing all the right things to become popular, and it's not happening. And my junior year, our basketball team made it to the district championship. Or actually, the district tournament. They didn't make the championship. And the tournament really isn't that big of a deal anyway because our district is so small that everybody makes the tournament. But the tournament was in Fargo, which gave high school kids an excuse to carpool to Fargo, the big city an hour away on a school night. Awesome, right? So I go to my parents and I say, hey, can I go to the tournament? Well, they weren't going to let me drive their car that's in their house with their rules to Fargo by myself. But I could go if I could find a ride. Not popular. Find a ride, they said. It'll be fun, they said. So finding a ride wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. And then my cousin, who was a senior, and he was super popular, like basketball, football, all the right things, really. He was popular, and he was riding with some other seniors and a couple of the cool juniors, and they were all going together. And he asked if I wanted to go with him, which at the time I was like, yes. Like, it was like the heavens opened, like the Hallelujah chorus started playing. Like, this is my chance to be cool. In retrospect, looking back, I'm fairly certain my mom called his mom and said, you're going to take Kyle with you? So I'm in the car thinking I'm cool, like, don't fuck this up. And, which, by the way, that's my favorite swear word. I'm sorry if I use it a lot in this story. Oh, also, disclaimer, anyone here from Absaraka? Thank God, because this story does not end well for them. So we're driving from Enderlin to Fargo. There are 2 people in the front seat, 4 of us crammed in the back seat, and a case of Keystone Light, because that's apparently what the cool kids did in small town North Dakota. So a beer is handed to me. I have never drank beer in my life at this point. I don't know how I'm going to react or what's going to happen. I know that people throw up when they drink. That was my knowledge at that point of alcohol. So I just held it and kind of faked it the entire way and then eventually like dumped it out somewhere on the road. So the story has 2 bad things already, underage drinking and littering. And we're on 94 and we pass the sign for Absaraka. And one of the people pipes up and it's like, oh my God, do you know there's a haunted church in Absaraka? Whoa, that's totally cool, haunted church, okay. So we go to the game, we lose, and we're heading back to town. And as we come up upon the exit for Absaraka again, the story of the haunted church starts being told again. And we think, how cool would it be if we stopped in Absaraka and went to the haunted church? So we pull off, and there's another car of people from our high school that are following us, thinking, what are they doing pulling off in Absaraka? Let's go find out. So they follow us. And they pull up next to us, they're like, what are you doing in Absaraka? We're like, there's a haunted church. Okay, cool, we're all in, we're going. Meanwhile, in my mind, I'm already concocting the story I'm going to have to tell my mom of why we're so late getting back from Fargo. But I can't tell them that we shouldn't go to Absaraka because I'll be late for my curfew because, again, I'm trying to become popular. So we start pulling into Absaraka, and we're about here, and Absaraka's here, this distance being about a mile. And we see the church, and it's all lit up. And we're like, oh, that's spooky. This haunted church that's supposed to be abandoned is all lit up. Oh, my gosh. The ghost knows how to turn on a light switch. So as we pull into town, we notice the entire town is outside the church, all 30 of them. And so we're like, okay, maybe we have the story wrong. Maybe it's not Absaraka. Maybe it's Air or Alice or one of those other A-name towns on 94. Maybe there was something at the church tonight and they're all leaving. And so as we pull in, we see that the church is actually all boarded up. So we're like, okay, this is really weird that all the lights are on in the church. It's boarded up, yet there's people standing outside. And by people, I mean a lot of denim and a lot of No Fear t-shirts. Remember those? Like, he who dies with the most toys still dies. That was my favorite one. So we decide the best course of action, since we're the lead car in this little endeavor, would just be to keep going. Just keep going, pretend like we're lost or something, don't address any of the locals, whatever it may be. And so as we're pulling in, they like run out onto the street and block our car from going any further. Demand we roll down the window. So we roll down the window, and they're like, what are you doing in Absaraka? And we're like, we just heard there was a church that was haunted, and we have beer, don't tell our parents. It was basically the way that story went. And then, so they're like, well, just keep on driving. And we're like, that's our plan. We're going to keep on driving. So we start pulling ahead, and we realize we don't know where this road goes and how we're going to get back home. None of us know this road. So we decide then the best course of action is to turn around, go back through Absaraka, and get back to interstate. So we pull back through Absaraka. Again, they surround our car. We told you to keep on driving. We're like, yeah, but we don't know where we're going. So then all of a sudden, this one girl pipes up, and she's like, we're having a party in a barn over there. And the people I'm with decide that would be a great idea to now go party with the people of Absaraka in this random barn. And me, seeking popularity, I was right there. Yeah, let's party in a barn in Absaraka. So we pull up to this barn, and these people open the door, and it was like children of the fucking corn. They just start coming out of this barn in overalls and No Fear t-shirts. There were a lot of No Fear t-shirts. And they come walking to the car, and this one girl starts leaning in on the window and just starts swearing at us and calling us every name in the book. She takes a full can of beer, dumps it into the car, which now adds to the explanation we're going to have to give our parents. And she looks at us and she goes, somebody told you to keep on driving. I don't know who invited you to this party. We're like, that girl, the girl over there, she invited us to this party. She's like, she doesn't even live here. So we decided that the best course of action then would be to leave. And as we're driving away, the girl who poured the beer out of our car shouts at us in kind of a very North Dakota hillbilly accent, stay out of Absaraka! So that was how our night ended. And there are two morals to this story. The first moral is don't ever try to be somebody you're not, because it can get you into very dangerous situations. The second moral is stay out of the fucking Absaraka.